Okay, this is Ransom1690 back here with another video, and I'm gonna try to film this video while I'm taking a shower, but I think what I'm gonna talk about today is this legacy shit that I've been hearing so much about from these pro-natalist folks, because I was watching an anti-natalist video yesterday from, I believe her name is Anti-Natalist Witch 111, and in one of her videos she was going through a comment section, and one of the comments was, to summarize it, it was basically telling people without kids to, all the typical bullshit, don't be selfish, this and that, because you need to continue your lineage and continue your, legacy and all that shit. And it was also saying some bullshit about how you owe it to society or some shit like that, to basically bring more people here because you need to contribute to society and all of that bullshit. So that got me really thinking that, I already don't agree with the whole bullshit on bringing someone here to continue your legacy. And this is why a lot of anti-natalists say that just having children is really selfish, because the reasons that people keep talking about why we need to bring children here, why it's good to have kids, because I want a mini me, or I want to continue my legacy. And of course, me being an anti-natalist, I don't agree with that. But what I'm gonna say today is, even if people want to have kids to continue their legacy, some legacies I think just needs to fucking die out. And I think the legacy that my family holds is a prime example of that. Because if it is a legacy that we have to continue, it's nothing full of abuse and just, all the bullshit, just family against family, mother against kid, or just her mother. I mean, when my mom was a kid, it was her mom basically against all of them. They would get beat and just real stupid shit. Threat told that if they didn't fucking make a worthless piece of number at school, if they didn't get good fucking grades, they would get whippings and shit. But it was one family member particularly who would get beat every single day, and he didn't know why, and that was my uncle. And it created a lot of problems in his life from going through that, to where he was in and out of jail, and he actually became homeless. He tried going to the military, but he flunked out of boot camp, is what I was told. So for as long as I can remember, he has not had stable housing. He's been roaming the streets, and just that abuse shit, it really fucked him up. And that's one of the things that I be noticing about this legacy shit, is that whatever you go through in your life, whatever kind of trauma or even if it's a good thing, whatever you experience from your childhood, that has a strong likelihood of affecting you when you go into your adulthood. And that's really what a fucking legacy is, in my opinion. It's a collection of experiences that you go through in your life that can shape you as an adult for either the better or for the worse. Now, unfortunately, the experiences my uncle went through shaped him for the worse. And then from my mom's mom to us, the abuse continued, and it didn't help that, my dad's mom, she was abusive as well. So it's like the legacy of abuse continued. And then I heard from my mom that her mom was also abusive. So you see the trend that's going on, that, the only thing that we've passed down from generation to generation is abuse. And, my sister, she's not an antinatalist because she obviously had children, but she saw the abuse, and I guess she's trying to end that. But I'm also working on ending it too. Because I will never have children to come here to have to deal with that bullshit. You see? And I understand now how stuff like this can affect you in your life. Because now, after going through all the shit that I've went through, I deal with a lot of fucking anger, just pent up anger and aggression that I constantly have to try to hold in and shit, because there's no way in this society that you can vent that stuff without getting in trouble with the police or getting put in a crazy home or some shit. I mean, you can't even talk about it, because depending on what you say, you will get reported to the authorities or some bullshit like that. So you gotta constantly hold that shit in. But that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the best I damn can to make sure that my legacy, the legacy that my family holds, dies the fuck out. Because honestly, I would be so okay with our bloodline going extinct. If I'm to be for real, like our bloodline, even putting the, antinatalism reasons behind, our bloodline does not deserve to continue. It does not deserve to keep producing more meat sacks to come here to constantly experience abuse at the hands of other people who's been abused. And that's, again, really what this legacy shit is. It's basically whatever you deal with in your fucking life. If you come from a family who has wealth, who has a business mindset, who knew how to invest, who had connections, who had, even down to genetics, I'm gonna say, then you're more than likely to pass that down, because that's what your parents has to give to you. But if you come from a broken home, a broken family, a family where nobody really loves each other and people just fight and connive all the time, then that's what's gonna be passed down to you, because that's the fucking routine of the household. And it's something that I really noticed when I'm watching a bunch of true crime stories is that, these psychos who go on to do all this fucked up shit, committing murders, joining gangs, and just all this grisly stuff, it usually starts with the home. Now, it's not that way all the time, of course, because you can have people who are just really that much of a beast to overcome that, like really strong to fucking overcome that shit and not let it really overtake them. And so that's how they break the cycle, like how my sister's trying to do. And vice versa, you can come from a good home and still decide to do some psychotic shit. Because, it ain't no telling just how fucked up someone can really be, But depending on how you grow up, it does have a strong likelihood to influence how you turn out. And that's one of the things that I've noticed, with my uncle. I met him quite a few times. And his story is like ever since going through the shit in his household, again, he's been on the streets, like he's not the same damn thing, I'm gonna say damn near, that one of my oldest brothers is going through and what I'm kind of going through right now. Except he was really out there, like, he was out there fighting. And I mean, he really got down from what I heard. So he's back in jail again, possibly for a long fucking time, for beating someone within an inch of their life. And it's like, when you fucking bring someone here, again, I don't recommend bringing no one here, but when you fucking bring someone here, you owe that fucking child the best life that you can give them. If you ain't got no fucking money, or you ain't got no fucking business mindset or nothing established, or no complete devotion and love for that child to where ain't nothing gonna get in the way of you raising that kid, then you have no business having fucking children, because all of that shit, or the lack of money, the fucking abuse, or just treating the child some type of way because they exist. Like, you run it, even bullshit, like what's happened to me and my brothers and sisters, my entire life, like even bullshit like, oh, you running up the light bill, oh, you doing this, you doing that, you need to turn the light off, turn that water off, you running up the bill. Even that shit can fucking affect the child, because now you're making that fucking child to feel obligated and burdened with a stress that they didn't even fucking ask to be burdened with, that they didn't even ask to be born into, to have to deal with that shit. And so the mindset is like, why the fuck am I being treated like this? So it's like, you need to have nothing but unconditional love for that fucking child, where no matter what, ain't nothing, no bullshit ass economy or no bills or what of that, none of that is gonna get in the way of you loving that child. But even then, again, you still need to have resources to help that kid. Because of course ain't nothing in this life free. And so That's really what a fucking legacy is. It's how you were raised and the materials and the support, both financially and paternally, that you were given when you was a kid. That's a legacy in my opinion. And I keep hearing story after story after story where these kids is turning into adults and becoming fucked up because they had a shitty parent who wanted to treat them bad, or they grew up in a poor household, so they got to do some underhanded shit to try to make money or some crap like it. It's fucking crazy, and unfortunately, it seems like the kind of legacy that I was born into was one where it's nothing but abuse. And so I'm gonna try to fucking cut this shit off by not having a child. Because what kind of person would I be having a kid? And not only do I deal with fucking anger issues and do I, go through all this mental shit, having nightmares about this shit, which I could potentially impose on a child if they were to be brought here. But my life ain't even fucking together yet. So it's like when my mom had me, when she had all of us, she had all of us by some random ass guy straight out of fucking high school. Your life hasn't even started yet, and she was still living with her fucking mama. That's the crazy part. She had no career. I'm pretty sure no money. She was working out Payless shoes at the time. And she just decided to go shack up with this guy and bring kids here with nothing to offer them but a shitty ass existence. And then the same thing continued with my brother, my second oldest, who I still can't believe how he had a kid. Like, he was literally homeless when he ran across this crazy ass woman. And I'll never forget what he told me. Like, she invited him back to her house, her parents' house, that is. And for whatever fucking reason, they just started having sex. And I'll never forget what he told me, just as soon as they had sex and she got pregnant, just her entire demeanor changed and she just turned into this nasty woman. And so he brought a child into this world with following the same path, no money, he homelessness, he was fucking homeless, and he had a child. And I'm not gonna get into how all of that really affected everyone, but just know that it all went to shit, and he does not have custody of this child. And now the child has been birthed to a trailer trash family who's also conniving and who's devious. And it's a lot of rumors about what the fuck is going on over there, but just know it's not a good situation. So now he's continuing this legacy of abuse, of not being able to provide for your child, of having children when you literally have like no resources to offer to take care of that child. Like, he has to go to the fucking plasma center just to get extra money because he don't be having no money down there. And so that's my family legacy that I'm gonna try to destroy. Again, since my sister had kids, of course, it ain't no telling they're probably gonna go on to have kids as well. But I will say that with how my sister is, it does seem like a good likelihood that they're gonna potentially have a better legacy than us, and that it ain't gonna be no abusive shit going on. Hopefully not, because again, it doesn't have to be that way all the time where abuse perpetuates abuse. Even if you grow up in a good household, you still have those kids who just decide that, hey, I'm gonna fuck shit up and I don't give a damn. And they go out and abuse other people anyway. And that's why, I just think, again, it's just better not to reproduce or bring people here. Because even then, if you try to be a good parent and give the kid everything, they can still decide to go the wrong way. It ain't no telling. This life and people are so unpredictable that it's no telling what can make someone snap. And so, man, that's why I just come to the conclusion that I'm not gonna be participating in this fucking reproduction shit, because it's just no fucking telling just what can happen. But yeah, that's my video for today, and I just wanted to put that out there, and I'll get back to y'all with another one real soon.